I think what strikes me about you, Sam, being, in the space and, the way you competed, I don't think there's anyone in the sport. I mean, there's obviously a lot of great athletes that have come through CrossFit, but I think a lot would agree that what made you different was just the tenacity that you took to workouts and just the engine you had. You know what I mean? And it was like, as I recalled it, and again, this is my recollection, but you would come out so hard and you were just tenacious. And that's kind of like what you were known for, just this gritty, obviously very talented, but it almost seemed like there was more grit than talent, and you were just tough. You were just tough as nails. And I that was.
I don't think I'm the most talented. Definitely don't think I'm the most talented athlete. I didn't come from a gymnastics background or anything like that, but something that was always instilled in me was kind of like hard work and digging deep. So I think what allowed me to become a good CrossFit athlete was the fact that I was willing to suffer. And a lot of the CrossFit workouts involve suffering. So the more you can suffer, the better you can do.
Yeah, and it was almost like there were certain workouts you knew that's a Sam Briggs workout because of the how deep into that pain cave you knew you'd have to go. And that's usually where we would see you thrive. So you won 2013, right? That was the year you won it?
Yep.
Yeah. So I competed at the games that year as well. I was in the team division though, so not as cool as you guys in individuals. So I got to be a part of that, and obviously the tennis stadium and the soccer stadium and just that whole vibe in Carson was so epic. So
yeah.
What was it like? So I know you had to take 2012 off to injury. And then you were able to come back and win it the following year. So walk us through what happened with the injury and just from a human performance standpoint. I'm curious, I'm sure Tony is too, of kind of what you did, when you took the time off to rehabilitate your injury and then come back a better athlete. A lot of people that would be really hard to bounce back from, but you came back and literally won the damn thing. So walk us through how you approached that and, just from a physical, even mental angle. And then, how you felt coming back into the 2013 season.
Yeah. So 2011, I came fourth, just narrow missing out on the podium. So kind of all like the whole focus and whole intention of the 2012 season was to make it back to the games and be stood on the podium. So when I suffered my knee injury, I was definitely in denial for like so long. I was still training. I was still trying to do things, even though I was in pain and not being able, I'd get through training and then not be able to kind of like live life. I'd just be in pain all the time. So it was actually my coaches that pulled me from the games season, and I was still in denial. I was like, I could do this when the open workouts were released. I could do that one. And they're like, no, you are not doing it. We're going to sit this season out. So once I'd actually like got my head around that I wasn't going to be competing, it was obvious to me just how much CrossFit and competing meant to me. So I was working full time as a firefighter at the time. We'd just opened our own affiliate in Manchester in the UK. So I was also like coaching and doing stuff as well as trying to train full time. So I made the decision that if I could get through this injury and be fit enough to compete in 2013, then I was going to do it all in. I was put an application in to get a sabbatical from work so that as soon as the Open started in 2013, I would be on a break from work. I wouldn't be coaching any more classes. I would literally, the Open started, I'm all in on competing. And then regarding like becoming a different athlete, the Sam Briggs of 2010, 2011, I was fit enough to be at the games, but I wasn't a good mover. Like my lifting technique and stuff like that, I just kind of had raw strength from being a firefighter. So I worked with a movement coach and kind of like worked on my mobility, worked on technique. And so that when I was actually able to start loading, and doing CrossFit again, I was moving a lot better. I started working with a gymnastics coach as well to try and refine my gymnastics skills, so that finally, when the 2013 season rolled around, I looked like a completely different athlete, but I still had my fitness and my engine that I had that got me to the games in the first place.
Awesome. So you're able to sand the edges a little bit and work on some
Yeah.
skill components. And I think that tenacity and that engine is the hardest one to get, right? That's
Yeah.
just something you have deep down inside. And walk me through that season. I'm sure you obviously breezed through the Open. Were you peaking at the right time as you got into what it would have been regionals at the time? I know it sounds like you went full time kind of starting at the Open, so that you probably had a pretty good progression by the time you got to Carson.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was obviously not working nights anymore. So just that recovery. And just then also having the time. I reached out to Lindsay Valenzuela, who at the time was another athlete that was going to be pushing for the podium, and was like, "Hey, I love the kind of vibe you bring to competing." She was the complete opposite athlete to me. She was obviously all strength and power. I was endurance. Would you want to do some training together? So I actually like spent quite a bit of time with Lindsay training the 2013 season before regionals, and then we did all our training leading up to the games.
Yeah, she was. What year? What did she get that year? 'Cause she was always kind of a crowd favorite as well.
Yeah, she took second.
Second.
So yeah.
That's
So I
awesome.
definitely think pushing each other in training definitely like helped. So that was just kind of like the perfect scenario there.